Hey, you know how in large part, especially because of Trump's legal troubles, the right wing has, again, in large part, been pushing the idea that there's this two-tier justice system aimed at hurting Republicans, benefiting and protecting Democrats, especially those in positions of power. And it's a line that is often trotted out to defend Trump and to go after Biden and Democrats and all that. And we've gone through the specifics of when they say Hunter Biden's being protected and why that's not accurate, or Trump's being persecuted. We've gone through those particular examples, but I have another data point that refutes this characterization very strongly. Here from CNN. New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez was charged on Friday with corruption-related offenses for the second time in 10 years. Now, when we look at when we watch on the show, the responses to Trump's legal troubles, for example, from right-wing media, what do we see? Bending over backwards to explain and try to prove that Trump's just the big victim. He's being politically persecuted. It's not just legal accountability. It's not justified. And just a big defense of Trump. Here, a Democratic senator is being indicted. You will see uniformly across what you would call liberal media, if you want to describe it that way, what you're about to hear from me here, which is if there's evidence of a crime, hold him accountable. And it seems, even though innocent until proven guilty, he'll have his day in court, all that good stuff, it seems there is some significant evidence of crimes here. Prosecutors allege the bribes included gold, cash, home mortgage payments, compensation for a low or no-show job, and a luxury vehicle. Now, I will let CNN break it down here, and they'll show... You'll see, but they'll show the gold bars that prosecutors allege he was being given as bribes. This is just a stunning story.
He's being charged with corruption-related charges for the second time in 10 years. He was charged, indicted before, and there was a hung jury, and now he's being charged again for something completely different. Let's get right to Kara Scannell for the details on this. Kara, what are you learning?
Yeah, John, so the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Lower Manhattan has announced that they have brought bribery charges against Senator Menendez and his wife. Now, according to the prosecutor's office, that they allege that Menendez's wife had received hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes that they had then used to help 3 New Jersey businessmen and the government of Egypt. This investigation has been going on for several years, and sources have told CNN that they have sent out rings of subpoenas to people seeking information about some of these businessmen and these relationships. Now, one of the businessmen...
And actually, it's the second clip I have for you here where they show the gold bars. Now, let me just say, if indeed this is all proven to be the case, obviously, shame on Bob Menendez. I do want him to be held legally accountable. This is absolutely horrible for our democracy. Him selling his power to, in this case, Egyptian government advocates. And that's completely unacceptable, obviously. And it also happens to just directly refute the idea that the justice system's aimed at protecting Democrats, because here, boom, uncovering this evidence and now prosecuting him.
One thing you can see, Elliot, as you continue, that what they did is they came in and they turned around the poster board, if you will, to show some of the evidence that is depicted in the indictment. That is a jacket that says Senator Menendez with cash, literally cash was in the pocket, is what they allege. And the gold bars that they allege were given as a bribe to the senator and his wife. I mean, that's, I don't know, there's something about the gold bar thing that is just so out there, Elliot.
It's not, look, it's not unlawful to possess blocks of gold. And frankly, it's not unlawful, as the senator is alleged to have done in the indictment, to Google how much money is a block of gold worth. That said, it is inherently suspicious. I don't have any blocks of gold on me right now, and I would assume most Americans do not.
Yeah. Jackets full of cash and gold bars. Not exactly a normal thing for a senator to be doing. So, I mean, it bolsters the obvious idea everyone knows, which is no matter your political identification, you can be corrupt. And we're seeing that potentially play out here. It is the most accurate way for me to speak, to always, before someone's been convicted, say allegedly and potentially. I think this is really damning, though. So know that that's not me saying, I don't know about the facts here. It's pretty damning. I will say as well to Republicans, when you accuse Biden of bribery because Hunter Biden made money and you haven't made a link between that money that was made and Joe Biden, this is what bribery looks like. This is the evidence of bribery that you absolutely don't have on Joe Biden. But then, of course, it's hard to ignore, because we've had to argue against time and time again the idea that there's this conspiracy to go after and persecute Republicans and to protect Democrats. This just flies in the face of that. But no need to fear, my dear. Charlie Kirk, the right-wing political commentator, on his show broke down why, even though it still bolsters his idea, why they're indicting a Democratic senator.
It's important to understand the way that the fourth branch of government operates is with intentionality. There are no mistakes. There are no indictments without the right hand knowing what the left hand is doing. So the first most obvious takeaway is important. They're doing this to create the appearance of impartiality so that they can continue their jihad against Donald Trump.
And of course, just deranged. But it's the same thing we hear with Hunter Biden, where now that he's been indicted, they'll say the indictment is just to cover for the fact that they're protecting him. Here, Menendez is being indicted to distract people from the fact that they're actually protecting Democrats or persecuting Donald Trump. They want to appear impartial. And so they're doing things that would lead normal, rational people to believe that maybe they're just not as biased against Republicans as you believe they are, Charlie. If you have to keep going on your show and explaining why actually the contradictions of your narrative time and time again bolster your narrative somehow, maybe your narrative just is being contradicted and that's it. That's the end of the story. And your narrative is not based in fact. And if everyone had a principled approach to politics and to law and order, then we could get past these conversations so much more quickly. You could be upset and bummed out that the guy you like, Trump, is being held legally accountable, and hardcore supporters of Bob Menendez, not someone we've spent a lot of time talking about, but could be upset that he's dealing with this and potentially committed crimes. And then we could be principled and say, but of course, law and order, hold him accountable no matter who it is. He'll have his day in court, innocent until proven guilty. We don't have to knee-jerk, be blinded by partisanship and bend ourselves and bend our principles into just a place of dishonesty in that end. And that's what people like Charlie Kirk do day after day. Instead of, as you just saw me cover, Democratic senator charged, all right, let the process play out. And if he's convicted, he should be sentenced whatever is appropriate. There we go. Very simple. You should try it out, Charlie. It's called honesty. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show and get a bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.